Hello, it's a pleasure being here today, and come on, I've been, well, since yesterday, to be honest, trying to listen some of the speaks and trying to gather the topics that you were discussing, and, well, to be honest, I was quite excited this morning because finally, I was hearing about data culture, the barriers that we are facing, and one of them is generating trust. So I'm going to continue on this topic, why trust is extremely important, why we need to nurture this culture. And part of it is, well, helping everyone to understand what we are doing. And to be honest, this is a challenge. I was going to introduce myself, but come on, it has already been made, so I don't need to repeat that. Well, my name is Josep, but if you want to be my friends, you can call me Pep. Quite easy. Good. Having said that, I was thinking how to start today. And to be honest, let's put things into context. This is one of the latest, surveys from O'Reilly Media. And they asked 2,000 companies in Europe, and that's a lot. And as you can see, well, not the majority of companies are already betting on artificial intelligence, on data science. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Plenty of them, they are just, executing, implementing prototypes. So what's happening? Where are the barriers that we are facing? What we can do with that? So let's review some of them. So for example, we need to confess something, because if you read in the newspapers, in articles like Harvard, and many other places, it seems that it's quite extremely easy to become, to apply data science, to become a machine learning first company. But it is not. It's the other way around. It's extremely complex. For example, the first barrier that you're going to face is that you need to ask any type of questions from the past performance of the company, like, tell me the number of customers, if they are profitable or not. From more complex, questions, and this is most of the times the framework that I use with managers when I do one thing. I not only train data scientists, I train managers to be able to understand what it's all about, what you can do, what you cannot do. How do you generate trust between both teams? And the starting point, let's speak about the questions that you can answer them. And you can go from extremely simple things up to complex things. Yesterday I was listening about using deep learning for a recommender engine, that was going to help, well, choose insurance and many other parking and many other things. So it was amazing. Yes, but are they going to trust us? This is our challenge. And it's not only about the questions. It's about as well, you know it. They promise you. They make you a huge promise. Our data is fantastic. Work with us. The insights that you're going to generate with this data are going to be so awesome, but the reality is the other way around. You spend 80 of your time cleaning the data, preparing the data, selecting the proper attributes, the features. Come on. It's like, you watch Back from the Future, and then you decide that, oh, we're going to have flying cars. We are still waiting for that. So it's the same thing. I'm still waiting for a company where I can find that everything has the proper data quality. But they are expecting results. They are pushing for that. And then, and that's amazing because I don't need to speak a lot about this. Yesterday you saw, and today, plenty of different data platforms that support answering those questions. And that's a challenge. Maybe you need to combine not one, but many different data stores. And all of them, they have a role in your data platform. So you need to make a lot of decisions. So imagine that you suddenly, you choose, you have the proper data quality, you spend your time increasing, you have the data store, you know the right questions, and then suddenly, well, maybe you don't have the right questions because you don't understand the business. Because they are expecting as well that as a data scientist, we are extremely clever, and we understand so easily the business that we don't need anyone to translate business issues into, what we are going to develop. So this is another barrier, and to be honest, extremely important as well. But imagine that we solve this as well, and we can progress. And suddenly we have our amazing model. And then you need to explain the model. What if your stakeholders, they don't have a clue about what is a regression? They don't have a clue. And imagine, if you don't know what is the regression, try to explain to them what is deep learning. Or many other interesting techniques that we have, that they are available in our backpack. So this is our challenge. How we are going to help them, and it's not, well, come on, this morning was a topic. Do we need to train all of them into the context of statistics? Is this the good approach? It's going to take ages. I don't know your background, but I study mathematics. And to be honest, I'm not expecting that everyone is able to speak the same jargon as me. So if this is nothing that we can do, well, we need to follow another approach. We need to help them to go beyond. What we can do. But do you think that's the only problem? Because it's not about explaining what we are doing. We need to generate trust. And for sure, we have the metrics. And we rely everything on metrics. Accuracy, precision, recall, and so on. Do you think that they understand the metrics? Because the majority of times, it's not the case. Come on. Most of the times, this gap between our domain and the business domain is so huge that we are not helping, in this long journey. There are many, many, many integrators that they have acquired talent from small startups. And you know what? Then they bring those data scientists into a proper business meeting. The last thing that you can do is to feel your customer as stupid. The last thing. They will disappear. They will run away. They don't want to feel stupid. They want to implement these things, but you need to help them. You need to help them to understand. So we are in this context, and this is not the beginning. Think for a moment about your stakeholders. We have consumers, we have managers, we have colleagues, but we have a new stakeholder, and quite powerful, by the way. It's the regulator. The regulator wants to know as well what you are doing, what is happening in your specific algorithms. They want this explanation everywhere. And it's getting worse and worse. Well, because sometimes there are some companies that are making some mistakes, and we all know about them. So this is just the beginning, and we need to change a little bit how we work. Well, a little bit, maybe a lot. So if you think for a moment, most of the times what we do is this. We have a training, and you have seen this many times during these 2 days. And probably you already know, and you are following these steps. So you've got a training data set. You use different techniques, different learners, that they are able to create a function, and this function is going to give us the answers that we're aiming for. And depending on our problem, will be one thing or another. So imagine that classical one, we are trying to classify something as a cat or not. That's it. But then you send back this information, the output, to the business user. And do you think that they are going to trust us? They're going to start, at the beginning, maybe they can trust us, but if something fails, many questions that will appear, like, hey, is there any options like my intuition, my experience? Can I trust all the time this system or not? When is going to fail? Which are the limits of this powerful algorithm? So there are many questions that we need to be able to answer. And remember, the ultimate goal of your team is to spread these techniques everywhere, in each one of the business process of your company. We want to become, these cognitive companies. So if we want to spread everywhere, we cannot expect that our team is going to be speaking with each one of our customers. So what we can do, we need to change the way we work. And changing the way we work will be something similar like this. So we need to use our techniques that they are able to provide an explainable model, something that can be explained as a property of the model. Now you are going to start complaining, oh, this is not possible always. We will discuss about that in a few slides. The second thing is not only to have this type of models, but to provide an interface that helps the users to get those questions in advance. It's an explainable interface, and this will help a lot. And you may think that this is a stupid thing to do. How many of you have Netflix? Oh, quite a lot. Did you trust Netflix? When Netflix is providing you recommendations, you will say, come on, Netflix fails a lot. And in one moment in time, it identifies, no, it starts having some kind of bias towards your particular profile. We know that. But you know what? They know that as well. And they start tweaking the interface now and then, more often than we are expecting, trying to increase something that we can gain trust on what they are doing. Have you realized that suddenly you have like some sentences like, because you love Thor, now I'm going to recommend the Avengers. Why they are doing that? Because they are tweaking the interface, and this is for consumers. Tweaking the interface to let them to understand what they are doing, why they are doing that, and increasing the trust. This is the reason why we help you. So what we need is to increase the interpretability of our algorithms. And at the end is helping humans understand the reasons why we make a decision. If we don't do that, we're going to have problems. And not problems maybe with our customers or stakeholders, but probably with the regulator, because they are pushing towards this particular approach. We need to be able to explain what is happening. And you will tell me, do I need to apply this everywhere? Well, we have a couple of environments. Maybe what we are doing is a low-risk environment where, we are not putting in jeopardy our company or our lives. So in that case, maybe we just can focus on traditional approach in artificial intelligence and data science, just giving the what? The output. That's it. But if we are in a high-risk environment, then I strongly recommend to start thinking we need to be able to provide the why. Why things, why we make this particular decision. And this is a starting point to classify your projects between low and high risk. And I strongly recommend you do that. But you may tell me, hey, come on, deep learning and many other techniques, this is like a black box. What we can do, So, and with this I will finish because, well, today I speak 15 minutes, I'm almost reaching the end. But we can spend not just hours, but days in this topic. And the good part is that there are many researchers working right now, creating, discovering new ways to explain models. And I strongly recommend, and this is just a starting point, to spend a lot of time discovering what is happening. So the first thing is there are some models, and most of them we already know about them, that they are easier. So by default, they have some kind of explainability. They are able to provide information about what's happening. Linear regression, decision trees, and many others. But we know, if we want to win Kaggle, you are not going to use these techniques. Come on, doesn't make sense. What we found there, ensemble algorithms, deep learning, and many other things. So if those techniques, they are not going to increase and push the accuracy of our algorithms, what we can do? Well, so that's the question that many researchers had. And when we have these black box models, then we have a huge collection of new techniques, model agnostic techniques, that consider that even if we have a black model, we can start, adding more information, highlighting what's happening. And sometimes, and there are many approaches, one of the approaches could be like, what if I delete some of the features? Which is the output in that situation? Creating scenarios. So as you can see, this is just a small and short list because there are so many more. And almost every 3 months, we have new papers that are providing more information. And even some of them, they come from amazing domains like game theory. So it's fantastic. I'm extremely happy. So imagine that you need to not only to use them, but now you have ways, you have techniques to increase the interpretability in your company. So please start considering this as a part of your next model, because this way you will gain trust faster in your company. Maybe, and with this I will finish, maybe in the future, instead of just analyzing data, what we're going to do is to analyze models. We are going to spend more time because we are going to use these powerful techniques that they're going to analyze the data by themselves, just analyzing the output and increasing this knowledge about them. Thank you so much, and if you want to contact me, please don't hesitate to do it. Thank you.